Saskatchewan has a reputation among some people for being flat, empty, and not having much to see. But that reputation only tells part of the story. Visit during the summer months when golden canola fields stretch to the horizon and prairie skies seem endless, and you'll discover a province with far more character than many people expect. From vibrant cities and historic towns to unique landscapes and fascinating stories, Saskatchewan offers a side of Canada that is often overlooked. So join me as I continue westward across the prairies and explore what makes Saskatchewan one of Canada's most underrated provinces. So this is what I woke up to this morning, and we could see a herd of horses down there across the valley. The drive out of Manitoba that day was beautiful, and with perfect weather on my side, I entered the 8th province of my journey across Canada. Saskatchewan's motto is Land of the Living Skies, and after spending some time here, it's easy to see why. Shortly after crossing the provincial border, I turned off the highway and headed down a series of quiet, country roads to take in more of the prairie landscape. Headed towards the town of Melville, located along a major rail corridor. Melville is one of the communities served by Via Rail's cross-country route. With a population of roughly 4,500 people, it's a classic prairie town. Continuing westwards, the landscape gradually began to change, and then it gave way to the rolling hills of the Qu'Appelle Valley. The drive down into the valley was remarkable, offering some of the most beautiful scenery I had seen since entering Saskatchewan. Established in 1864 as a Hudson Bay Company trading post, today the town sits alongside Echo Lake, one of several beautiful lakes that dot the valley. With its stunning scenery, sandy beaches, and beautiful lakeside cabins, it's easy to understand why this has become one of Saskatchewan's most popular summer destinations. Following that, I made my way to Saskatchewan's provincial capital of Regina, a city I was very excited to explore, but after a long day of driving, I decided to check into my hotel and save the sightseeing for the following morning. The next day I headed straight to Saskatchewan's legislative building. It was the 8th provincial legislature I had visited on my journey across Canada, and while I have a strong hometown bias towards Manitoba's legislature in Winnipeg, this one in Regina may even be more impressive. Completed in 1912, after just 4 years of construction, the legislature offers free guided tours, which I highly recommend, providing visitors with a fascinating look at both the building's history and the history of Saskatchewan itself. Directly in front of the legislature stands a long ceremonial walkway lined with statues, including those of Queen Elizabeth II and Thomas Walter Scott, Saskatchewan's first premier. Beyond that lies the beautiful Wascana Lake, one of Regina's most recognizable landmarks. There are a few other spots in town worth checking out, including Regina's warehouse district, where many of the city's historic industrial buildings had been transformed into shops, restaurants, and cafes. One spot I can personally recommend is Venue B Coffee House, where I enjoyed a great cup of coffee and some bannock, a food that originated with Scottish settlers, but was later widely adopted by Indigenous peoples across Canada. From there, I made my way to perhaps Regina's most famous attraction, the RCMP Heritage Centre. Located next to the RCMP Academy, where all members of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police receive their training. The RCMP traces its roots back to 1873, when the Northwest Mounted Police was created to establish law and order across Canada's rapidly expanding western frontier. Today, the museum tells the story through a series of engaging exhibits that explore the history, traditions, and evolution of one of Canada's most recognizable institutions. It's a fascinating place to spend a few hours and offers an excellent introduction to an important chapter of Canadian history. The drive from Regina to Saskatoon takes about 3 to 4 hours. It begins across open prairie, but after roughly 30 minutes, the road drops into the Qu'Appelle River Valley, one of the most scenic stretches along the route. Beyond the valley, Highway 11 flattens out again, passing grain elevators and wide open farmland, typical of central Saskatchewan. After the town of Chamberlain, the land to the right rises into the Touchwood Hills. If you're lucky, you might spot large cattle herds grazing across the rolling terrain. Known as the Louis Riel Trail, Highway 11 is dotted with interpretive metal sculptures reflecting the region's prairie and Métis history. It may not be the most dramatic highway drive in Canada, but it leads you into Saskatoon, a city built around the river rather than the road. The city of Saskatoon takes its name from the Saskatoon berry, a native prairie fruit whose name originates from the Cree language. Like much of Saskatchewan, the city's name reflects the deep Indigenous heritage of the region. Just southwest of the city lies a place known as the Berry Barn, where visitors can sample and purchase these sweet, succulent berries, while also enjoying a variety of local treats, including one of my personal favorites, a slice of Saskatoon berry pie a la mode. But back to the city of Saskatoon itself. Founded in 1882 as a temperance colony, where the sale and consumption of alcohol were prohibited, Saskatoon was officially incorporated as a city in 1906. Today it is one of Canada's most attractive prairie cities, defined by the North Saskatchewan River that winds its way through the heart of the town. Its downtown is a wonderful place to explore on a warm summer day. Among the city's notable landmarks is the historic Bessborough Hotel. Completed in 1935, it is one of the grand railway hotels constructed across Canada during the golden age of rail travel and remains one of Saskatoon's most recognizable buildings. The downtown core is also home to several beautiful parks and green spaces, including Kiwanis Memorial Park, which offers excellent views of the North Saskatchewan River. From here, visitors can admire some of the city's many bridges that span the waterway. Yes, Saskatchewan was flat, but it was also rolling, vast, and surprisingly beautiful. In the summertime, I'd argue it's one of the most scenic provinces in all of Canada. It had been a couple of long but rewarding days of driving, and as I passed through the border city of Lloydminster, I entered my 9th Canadian province, Alberta. The incredible prairie landscape continued, with endless skies and sweeping farmland, making even the longest drives seem to pass in no time. Everywhere I looked, there was something remarkable to take in. My next destination was the provincial capital of Edmonton, but we'll have to save that for the next episode. So if you've been enjoying the journey and would like to continue following along, I'd appreciate it if you dropped a like and subscribe to the channel. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.